Zamo, Winnie Mandela. Then I know on Wednesday, Siyakumama Charlotte Maxeke, whom we are celebrating the 100 years. But we want to say to you, Minister, when you were in the Lekgotla, you said you want the development along the coast. We are committed. We are going to assist you. The resident coordinator was here. They were moving up and down together with the team. How dare we fail them as councillors representing the people of OR Tambo. That's why I was with them when they were saying that they want to see this DDM working. Indeed, DDM for a district municipality will be a vehicle to assist the people. And if all of us, as the minister said, let us all put our hands to be on the deck. We need to be honest with ourselves that at times we feel that we are grappling with the phenomenon so great. Because the district development model is there to assist us. I know the business sector, but they were invited. They are here in the business sector. Utatu Bell, Utatu Mbalo has been saying that to me when the president said that there will be a 12 billion that will be given to OR Tambo. The business sector, they thought it is the money in our bag. I know we have said that we are coordinating. Hence, I was saying that I need to be strong to call the department to say that you have said you are going to do this because the DDM will fail if we are not realizing what we have said. The draft DDM one plan is there. We are going to table it in the council. You assisted us with the hub. I want to welcome you, Minister, together with the MEC. They've been here with us, assisting us, putting our house in order so that this DDM doesn't fail. I know the municipal manager of Waterbeek was told he's around. Let us welcome you here in OR Tambo. I know you have got mines. OR Tambo doesn't have mines, doesn't have factories, but if we're going to stick to the DDM, it will assist us to say we have a city in Port St. John's. We have other development that we are going to point out through this DDM, and also the United Nations being part of us. Indeed, OR Tambo, we are very great because the whole of United Nations is here. Hence, I was saying that this is an international event. So we cannot take that light. We are going to take it serious. I know, Minister, you will be here from time to time looking at how we are handling this DDM. Be sure that we are going to take it like a relay to other people who will come in and take it forward. Kululeka, Minister, resident coordinator, this is your home together with your team because you have assisted us. You know, Minister, when they were finished, I saw that there was an issue on water that was not on the plans. Hence, I had to talk with them. I said, there's no way that we have the water service plan that was adopted many years ago. We need to go and look at it because water is our core business. So I'm saying that here are the mayors, because I always say a district doesn't have any wards. Those wards are with the local municipality. That's why we work in unity with these mayors of the local. So everyone must feel free and know that here is the assistance that has been brought, and today we are going to make a history because it's going to be signed here in OR Tambo. Everyone is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Executive Mayor. Can we please again give her a round of applause? Thank you very much. I think we are all clear today that indeed we are here as a continuation of a program which was launched by the Honorable President in 2019. OR Tambo, Honorable Minister, is one of the richest districts. We proud ourselves to be having indigenous oceans, indigenous knowledge. The district with a university which is working close with the municipalities. We proud ourselves to have so much, but what we need is the support in terms of the infrastructure development. Surely this partnership by COGTA and United Nations bring hope to the district such that we can see positive change within our district. At this point, we are going to receive a message from the Honorable MEC Ngata, a message of support by MEC COGTA Eastern Cape. Ndiku recognize ubukho be business yase OR Tambo. I've seen the leadership of business. Over to you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Program Director, the Honorable Minister, the Resident Coordinator, the Executive Mayor and Executive Mayors, Speakers and Chief Whips that are here, the political leadership, the DG, DDGs, municipal managers, utatumfundisi ubesivulela, abefundisi abakhoyo ngabanye, traditional leaders that are here, leaders of business, all officials and guests, distinguished guests that are here, good morning. Honorable Minister, I'm sure you have stood next to this UN flag countless times. It's the first time I stand next to this flag. And I do not take that for granted, and I am deeply honored. Even if I can just walk now and sit down, it's fine. This is the kind of the commitment that the province, since the launch of DDM, has attached to the strategic importance of this partnership with the UN. And we have taken a number of steps as a provincial government to appoint 8 MECs to be champions of DDM and to roll out DDM and welcome the steps that the minister has taken. And we consider this partnership to be very, very critical given the socio-economic conditions and the fiscal challenges that not only the world but our country and the province is facing. And the recent labor force survey did indicate that our province is standing above 50% in terms of unemployment. And therefore we need partnerships. And it is our commitment to ensure that this partnership succeeds. We're going to take all the necessary steps. And some of the challenges we have are of public knowledge. And therefore it is important for me to just comment on that, Minister, to say that whatever political challenges that we have from the side of the provincial leadership, nothing will stop us to ensure that this partnership succeeds. And that we can assure you, Honorable Minister and the resident coordinator, that nothing will stop us from ensuring that this partnership succeeds. As the executive mayor has indicated, we're working with universities that are in the province to ensure that our decisions are research-based decisions so that we ensure that the outcomes are predictable and are guaranteed, and that we enhance the partnerships that we have. And I wish to thank the minister being available to give the main message, which will constitute marching orders. That's why our slot is a message of support, because the minister is going to be doing the keynote message, which we're going to be listening to it attentively, so that none of us, Minister, can claim that when you ask why A, B, and C has not been done. And with those few words, I wish again to reiterate our support to this, and thanking the resident coordinator on behalf of traditional leaders and traditional communities for the support we have received. We received support, thousands and thousands of PPEs, Minister, including sanitary towels, which benefited communities in the province. And about a month ago, we went to a rural school, donated, going together with the UN officer, donated sanitary towel to needy kids. Those are some of the benefits that we do not take for granted nor underestimate, knowing very well that girl children, they sometimes lag behind because they miss classes, because they have got to miss school because of menstruation and other things, and therefore those kind of efforts, they sort of safeguard their dignity and ensure that they are not disadvantaged compared to boy child. So we thank you for that very much, and looking forward to building this partnership to grow from strength to strength. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. I am sure we are all clear that being here today is once more a commitment from our government, as it was indicated in the launch that we will have an integrated approach with all the challenges that we are confronted with. We are going to be working together as government, even with the challenges that we confronted with of the economy. We are going to work together as one government to have an inclusive economy through our plans. At this point, I would like to call the remarks by UN Resident Coordinator, Mrs. Ann Bekele Thomas. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you. Can we give her a round of applause?
Thank you very much, my sister, the program coordinator here, or the program director here. The Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, the Honorable Umama Dr. Nkosazana Lamini Zuma, the Mek of Kokta in the Eastern Cape, our spiritual leader who is here, the Reverend, and traditional leaders, executive mayors with these, I can't even see because of the fog. Executive mayor, chief whips, and speakers of OR Tambo, eThekwini, and Waterberg districts, executive mayors of the local municipalities present, councillors of the municipalities present, the Director General of the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Excellencies, UN South Africa family and partners, members of the media, our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on the shoulders of the preceding speakers and say all protocols observed. On behalf of the United Nations in South Africa, allow me to express my pleasure at reaching this important milestone, the launching of our partnership with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to realize the ambition and vision of the district development model. Honorable Minister, I want to assure you of our commitment as the United Nations to walk this road with you and see this program through under your visionary, strategic, and able leadership. I'm also honored to be here in the district that bears the name of Oliver Reginald Tambo, a figure synonymous with democracy, duty, and sacrifice. For many of us, myself included, he was a towering figure that represented decency and determination in the face of darkness. Our Tambo district is still a far cry from his hopes and dreams for the people of this area, and indeed for people in many parts of the country. South Africa still bears the scars of apartheid policies, which have placed a heavy burden on successive government administrations as they have struggled to overcome deprivation and to deliver services. The twisted experiment of race-based policies that apartheid conducted on the marginalized and vulnerable have echoed on for generations. We are determined to do our part to help this country and you citizens of the OR Tambo district to overcome this bitter legacy. An added value of the UN system, ladies and gentlemen, is not just the technical expertise and mandates of the 17 UN agencies, funds, and programs. And I would like, with your permission, Madam Minister, to just recognize the presence of all the representatives and their technical teams that are here. If you can please stand up so that we can recognize you. We have actually, Madam Minister, I don't know where the rest are, we have at least 39 to 40 of our team members that are here. So yeah, please stand up. I don't know why you're shy. The ones that stood up first were the representatives, and now these are the technical team, and some are there working with the people. So we're all here. It's also the UN's unparalleled wealth of experience working across the global south over decades and in a myriad contexts that we bring here to the district and in the DDA model. This experience, often hard-won, has taught us a number of lessons. I would like to draw your attention to 3 lessons that we will need to absorb to be successful. And this comes actually from my 40 years of experience with the UN. And one, that it's imperative to fully invest in local governance and local service delivery if we really want to leave no one behind. 2 is to support programming that empowers citizenry. And 3, that these programs must be informed by local consultations and local context. And it should be truly sustainable. Minister, when you honored us with your presence at the UN retreat in 2019, and that's before you became the Minister of COPTA, you highlighted the need to focus on local governance. Local government, you said, is where citizens and their government interact the most, where most services are delivered. It is where, for most people, the government's trust and legitimacy is won or lost. Since the advent of democracy in South Africa, an impressive policy landscape has evolved, but this has not always been matched by outcomes. To function effectively, as you rightly put it, local government needs to be empowered, to be resourced and capacitated to be a driver of local development. Citizens are still having to travel long distances and even sleeping on the streets to access basic services only available in urban centers. We must re-energize our efforts to ensure that services reach all communities and are focused on their needs. Government benefits from an empowered citizenry in which local concerns are heard and met, and accountability is mutual. Empowered citizens become active participants in their own development. They can help catalyze change through their engagement. Our experience has taught us that empowered citizens are more innovative and more likely to find their own solutions to the challenges they face. Our programs and our work must therefore seek to foster this empowerment and to build in community inclusivity and decision-making into their structures. The third lesson is an essential one, basing our programming around local consultation and within the local context, because it does not only increase the chances of success, but it also builds legitimacy and trust. Programs have to be designed and adapted around local realities, or they will be doomed to fail. There are rarely successful examples of a one-size-fits-all program. ensuring that consultation is built into programming, informs localized design, but also increases community acceptance of the program. The DDM for us represents a reimagining of the development space in South Africa. The 3 pilot districts, Waterberg, OR Tambo, and eThekwini, represent different contexts, spatially and developmentally, but they each face huge and similar obstacles of poverty, unemployment, and inequality, and the associated social challenges that follow. The UN system, through our cooperation framework, is realigning itself to support local government and service delivery, to place its resources and expertise at the disposal of municipalities and their citizens. As we worked in partnership over these last months, I am immensely proud of how we developed and endorsed the district implementation plans. Within these plans, I would like to highlight 3 signature projects which we have identified together, Madam Minister. The first one is the Business Solution Centers and the reinvigorated Tusong. The second one is the reinvigorated Tusong, and the third one is reinvigorated Tutuzela centers, care centers. These will help drive, in our opinion, and as endorsed by the community, self-investment and service delivery. They will also act as portals for further interventions. I am particularly excited about establishing the Songhai Center within the context of the Business Solution Center, which, Honorable Minister, you have already expressed your interest in that, and to see Songhai here, which has proven a track record of successfully boosting agriculture, but in a way that is sustainable. They are a driver of employment and growth while encouraging food security. They are a fitting embodiment of what the Sustainable Development Goals seek to achieve. These signature projects, the 3 of them, seek to empower also citizens through the enhanced provision of services and bringing citizens and local government closer together. Excellencies, the process of drafting implementation plans for the DDM has been one of constant consultation and engagement between the UN, COCTA, and the districts. We have worked together to envisage a series of key interventions that align to the local context and to understand and address what has hampered development and service delivery in the past. Together, at every step, we are seeking to ensure that community engagement through steering committees and other forums inform decision-making. The outcome is a joint plan endorsed by all tiers of government and the UN. The plans are co-authored and locally tailored, and they vary according to the local context and needs. The crafting of our shared plans comes with a shared responsibility to implement it. It is a process of establishing mutual goals and mutual accountability between partners. This last year has given us a sobering lesson of how shocks and disasters can upend our plans. COVID is both a disaster, but also a warning. We need to build resiliency into all of our work. In a country and continent faced with devastating climate change, even at the global target of 1.5 degrees, adaptation has to be considered with every new project and undertaking going forward. We are in an ever more uncertain world. COVID has shown us that we cannot take things for granted. It will require more planning, greater efforts, and above all, robust and unflinching solidarity. Nationally, COCTA has been an ideal partner of the United Nations. I'm delighted at the consultative and collaborative spirit that has been established, and we are extremely grateful for the trust that has been placed in the UN. We are especially very grateful for the strong support that we have received from the Director General, Ms. Avril Williamson, and her team. As we go forward, COCTA will help us fully integrate the DDM into the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework through their critical role in ministerial and technical steering committees. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the municipalities of Waterberg, OR Tambo, and OR Tambo, because Ethiopian is coming soon, who have been accommodating and open, and have made us feel welcome in their homes. I'm also grateful to my UN country team, who have demonstrated outstanding commitment to helping shape this process to date, and will be the driving force that realizes our contribution to the DDM. Over the last few months, our partnership has strengthened and will continue to do so as we start the process of implementing our collective plan. Minister, finally, I would like to end by thanking you personally. Your insights have helped shape our thinking, and your leadership is why we are here today. We are inspired by your commitment to your people, and we are here and ready to make this a model for South Africa and for the Global South to follow. And I would also like to thank the mayor, who has been our host here, and all those that have been hosting us. And thank you for the confidence and trust that you have in us. We are partners. We will walk the talk together. Thank you very much.
Wow. Can we give her a round of applause? Ndiyacinga into okokuba njengoba ebesitsho apha umphathiswa, nathi le flag ingahle ibe kanti ima okokuqala le United Nations kule ngingqi ye-OR Tambo District Municipality. Thank you very much, ma'am. We are truly honored to be in this partnership as OR Tambo District Municipality. I acknowledge the members of council who have just joined us. Allow me also to acknowledge the stakeholders who have just joined us, the traditional leaders. We are right in the middle of a program. Right now, I am pleased to announce that Siyakuvuthondaba, we are going to be listening to our honored guest, the Honorable Minister, Dr. N. Dlamini Zuma. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Please. Thank you very much, Program Director. And greetings to my sister, and with humility and thanks, the UN, the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Mama Nados Bekele Thomas, and all the UN agencies and staff that are here. Our host, the district mayor, Umam Sokanyile, our hosts in the bigger province, Ubaba Unata, Emisiwe Kokta, Amakhosi who are here, religious leaders who are asking the Almighty to ukuthi asikelele kulo msebenzi, directors general and heads of departments, members of the diplomatic corps, all the local and district councillors who are here, including the ones that have come all the way from Waterberg and eThekwini, the residents of OR Tambo, the private sector, and all the honored guests who are here. And of course, let me not forget the ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate who will tell the country what we're doing here. And thank you very much for being here. And let me thank you, Babu Ngata, with Umamso Kanyile, for allowing us to come and sign this memorandum of agreement with the UN, to sign it here. Because we are trying to establish a culture that the people are not in Pretoria. The people are here, out here. So we must do these things where the people are. And I want to thank the UN actually for agreeing to come out and sign here, not in Pretoria, not in Cape Town, not in Durban, but here at OR Tambo district. Of course, this should have been signed last year had it not been for COVID, which has affected all of us and has caused delays. But nevertheless, now that COVID is giving us a window of opportunity, we thought we should not miss it. Let me also say that what we're doing here is also in memory and in contribution to the memory of many of our heroes and heroines in this country. But again, let me say to Tatu Ngata, ngiyajabula ukuthi khona into yokuqala nawe oyenzekile namhlanje kuwe ukuthi uthathe ifoto na ne-UN flag. Siyabonga. And let's just remember that as we're doing all this work, we're remembering abantu who are like Umama Charlotte Maxeke, who the country has dedicated this year to. It's the year of Umama Maxeke. And yet, very few of us know her contribution to this country. And yet, her contribution surpasses most people's contribution, men or women. Umama Maxeke was not only the first black South African woman to hold a degree, a BSc degree for that, but she went on to establish 2 education institutions. Who has done that? She established a church. She was the first woman to participate in the Abatembu Royal Courts. She was the only woman who attended the formation of the African National Congress, a true activist, and she was amongst the founders of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union. And of course, she was the first president of the Bantu Women's League, which is the precursor of the ANC Women's League. Umama Maxeke also led the first land and pass-related protest in 1913, at the Vaihoek township just outside Bloemfontein. This led to hundreds of women being arrested. Their protest actions spanned across several years. In the end, the regime backed down on the past requirements for women for a number of decades, until again in 1956, that famous March of Women to the Union Building took place. So indeed, her legacy is traceable to the present. As we advance our partnership, we must be inspired by her and lift her name and many others from the footnotes of history. Another such heroine is Umamu Winnie Madikizela Mandela, whose matrimonial home is in this district and her birth home is next door at Alfred Nzo. 4 days ago, we marked 3 years since her departure, and in her honor, the Mbizana municipality was renamed, and now carries her name. Must remember her forthrightness, honesty, determination, loving, but also her fighting spirit is one that has brought us to where we are, and is the one that we must carry in this district every day, so that we have the fighting spirit, but fighting for our people, not for ourselves necessarily. And as we undertake our day-to-day work, we must also recall her work and fears, because she also had fears. When she said, I think, one of the greatest things I fear is letting down my people. I wouldn't live with that type of conscience of having let down my people after they've been brutalized so long. So all of us must carry that spirit that we must fear letting our people down. And if we all fear letting our people down, we won't let them down. And of course, Mama Tsaike also taught us, I quote, this work is not for yourselves. Feel the spirit of self. And do not live above your people, but live with them. If you can rise, bring someone with you, close to it. So learning from those two great women of our country, we can do a lot together. Program Director, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this partnership will aid in lifting millions of our people out of poverty. We also believe that ought to emulate and be inspired by the lives and contributions of Mama Tsaike, Mamu Winnie Mandela. But of course, as my sister said, this partnership and this district carries the name of one of our giants, Oliver Reginald Tambo. And let's remember what he taught us. I'll just quote one thing that he said. It is inconceivable for liberation to have meaning without a return of the wealth of the country to the people as a whole. To allow the existing economic forces to retain their interests intact is to feed the reach of racial supremacy and exploitation, and does not represent even the shadow of liberation in truth. That's what O.R. Tambo said. And that's what he lived by, that's what he fought for, that's what he does. And this district, carrying his name, must also carry his ideas. And it was following on the words of O.R. Tambo, that the African National Congress and the ruling party embarked on the path of radical economic transformation, which is really a path that seeks to make sure that the wealth is not carried by a few, but that our people become prosperous. We're here with the DDM trying to build sustainable anticipated. And it is also what the then Deputy President said, saying that the economic transformation to change the structure of the economy, placing the economy on a quantitatively developmental path with increased employment, reduced inequality, and de-racialization of the economy. And this is not about fighting those who have the economy, but that economy that is held by a few and not by the majority cannot be sustainable. So it's important that the economy So it is to ensure that the riches of this district are enjoyed by the people as a whole. Simple. There's nothing wrong with that, but it also assists us to build inclusive and equal societies through sustained inclusive growth. So that's what the government and the ANC agreed on in order to fulfill what O.R. Tambo said about the economy. So we in government are compelled to ensure that our state advances a cohesive, consistent, and well-coordinated and well-articulated program for the transformation of our economic landscape. It is on this basis that we embark on the DDM, and through the DDM, we must direct the private sector, public, traditional, religious communities, cooperatives, international sector. We've brought the UN to work with us, but we are also going to bring members of the UN, countries also. The UN was with us when we were struggling. It's still with us because it understands the struggle is not over. As long as our people are poor, unemployed, hungry, inequality, the struggle is not over. That's why they're still with us. Other countries that were friends with us must also come on board so that we can complete the struggle that is not yet completed, because when you're still hungry, there is no freedom in hunger. There is no freedom in poverty. So we still have to work hard. Fortunately, we don't have to fight physically. We have to just make sure that our policies, because our policies are good, our policies are there, but we must make sure we implement them, implementation. And that's why I'm happy that the UN is coming to talk, not policy, but it's coming to look at implementation, because that's where we're weak, on implementation. And so through the DDM, we should bring all these partners to implement, not to theorize, not to bring in other policies, but to implement. So that in the end, this district and its people, she said, OR has got 1.3 million people. But by 2050, OR will have more than 5 million people. So we have to plan long term so that the 1.3 million people, when they become 5 million people, we have what it takes to look after them, but also for them to be prosperous, because we have to build prosperity. But what it also means, my sister, is that we must develop the skills that are going to run the programs, that are going to build the economy. Without skills, you can't grow the economy. Economy will never reach its full potential without the skills. And let me also just remind ourselves that when BRIC started, it wasn't an organization at the beginning. It was a bank that was looking at which countries are going to be driving the economy into 50-50. And they looked at the world, and then they said it was the BRIC countries that are going to drive the economy. Brazil, Russia, India, China. And then they said, who will be the next 11? Because they were looking at 15 countries. So they said the BRIC, the 4, and then they said, who will be the next 11? And at the time, there was no African country amongst the 4. There were 2 African countries in the next 11. And South Africa was not part of the next 11. And at that time, we were in foreign affairs. So I went to them and I said, please explain. Why are we not in the next 11 at least, but there are 2 African countries? And yet we are the biggest economy. We are the most sophisticated economy, infrastructure, you know. They said, no, it's simple. It's just one factor. It's skills. They said Nigeria and Egypt have the depth and the breadth of skills to overtake you. Unless we change that trajectory. Nigeria has already overtaken us, just on skills. So the skills, that's why the ANC and the ruling and the governing party and the government have said we must embark on a skills revolution. Because we can have the brick, we can have the mortar, we can have the partners, we can have everything. But if we don't have skilled people to figure out what to do, nothing will happen. So my sister, part of our partnership should include that. It should include that. But also, part of what we do, all of us, in our departments, in our province, in our municipality, that element of skills development must be there. Skilling our young people, skilling our young women, skilling everyone, so that they can drive the economic transformation, they can drive the cultural, the social, everything needs those skills, so that they can make sure that this district is connected by road, rail, and air. It's connected through internet. It's connected economically to the markets on the continent through the free trade, and also to the global markets, can make sure that this district manufactures, even as it concentrates on agriculture, but it manufactures. the value chains of agriculture. So we also have agreed that we must deal with the apartheid spatial planning, make sure that we create new cities, as the president said, and we develop the pristine coastline between Ugu and Port St. John's. That must be developed for the benefit of our people, so that indeed we can build these prosperous, resilient, sustainable, cohesive, connected, and climate-smart communities. So I'd like to take this opportunity also to thank the province led by the Premier, and of course, his guidance and inspiration, because I know he has formed a team that's going to be working with us on this development. So we are very inspired by that, because we also, like him, understand that you can't quite develop OR without developing Alfred Nzo as well, because those are very intertwined, but also across. There is Ugu, of course there is Harry Kwala next to Alfred Nzo. So these are some of the things that we have to be looking at through the district development model. Of course, all of us have been hard at work despite COVID-19. Pandemic landed on our shores more than a year ago, and of course found our economy was not well performing, but it has made it worse. Our municipalities are not able to get the revenue that they used to get, because people have lost their jobs, unemployment has grown. But we have to then deal with that and make sure that we do things that are going to create jobs, are going to rekindle. As the president has said, our economy must recover, but it must recover beyond where it was when COVID hit. But that cannot happen if we don't look at women as a talent that must also develop this economy in this country. If we think women are there to be battered, to be abused, to be killed, this country will go nowhere. One, because women, just by their sheer numbers, it's more than half the population of South Africa. Whoever wins with half the team, do you think any team can, no matter how good, no matter how arrogant, if it puts half its team on the field, it's sure to lose? So South Africa must put every talent. But also, women are more than just the numbers. They are more than just the talent. They also nurture life. They are more than half. They also bring the other half to the world. The other half wouldn't exist if women decided not to. Yeah, simple. Now, none of you here, none of us here can deny that they lay in a woman's womb for at least 9 months. Deny that when they couldn't feed themselves, they couldn't look after themselves, a woman looked after them. U-MEC namhlanje, ubaba esimhloniphayo namhlanje, ubaba uNqathu MEC, because of a woman who looked after you, to be the strong woman that you are. And how does that woman suddenly become inferior? that brought you to be the strong man that you are, how does she become inferior to you? It's not possible. Not possible. So women should be there, should be empowered, should be skilled, should participate, should be entrepreneurs. They should be in academia, in the judiciary, everywhere. The country has done well in terms of parliament and cabinet, but when you look at other areas, they are not there. In the economy, there are very few. In the JSE, there are very few. In the boards of big companies, there are very few. So South Africa will hobble at half capacity if we don't use the talent, the capacity that exists. So women, and I'm glad that our partnership also touches on that. And of course, young people are not only the future, but they are also the present and the bridge to the future. So we need to invest in them. We need to invest in our people, all of them. But we also, this area, my sister, because you may not know, is very well known for its green gold. Do you know what green gold is, my sister? But we've been growing and selling green gold raw. You don't get much from selling anything raw. Now we must get into hemp and into the value chain. There are thousands of products that we can produce. And then we sell to the world the finished products, not the raw. Why is it not? It's important not to sell raw things to the world. Just think about it. If you sell something raw, you export raw, you are exporting jobs, because the jobs that will finish and create finished products from that raw will be created somewhere else. So we are not only exporting raw material, we are also exporting jobs. But we are also exporting revenue. Because if you sell something raw, a raw diamond, you export it. When it comes as a finished product, whether it's jewelry or whatever, you pay not just 10 times more, probably much more. So it means you have actually also exported revenue in the meantime. So we must stop that in South Africa. We must make sure that we add value to our products and then we export. Now there's going to be Africa Free Trade Area. Africa is more than 1.2 billion people, more than 400 million middle-class people. So we can trade amongst ourselves as Africans. Yes, we trade with the world as well, but if you look at all the countries in the world, their biggest trading partners are in their neighborhood. They are in their continent. It's only us. When you ask us, who is your biggest trading partner? It's across the seas. And that must change. Our greatest trading partners, biggest trading partners, must be on our continent, all of us as Africans. And that's when we'll become competitive. So there is a lot that is out there. We just need to work hard to make sure that it materializes. So we must raise the prominence of agriculture and its value chains, the ocean economy. The ocean is a huge economic frontier. There's nothing that doesn't happen through the ocean. If you take the African continent, 90% of its goods that are imported or exported are done through the ocean. They're exported or imported through the ocean, including South Africa. So the maritime highways are there, but what do we do with them? We use other people's ships, other people's flags. They bring things to us. They employ other people on those boats. They eat other things from other countries on those boats. All the perishables they take from somewhere else, not from us. So there's a lot we can do if we really concentrate on that ocean economy. The logistics, taking things to the ocean and out of the ocean. The insurance. There is just so much. The fishing. I was saying in one of our lekutlas, in the eastern seaboard, there isn't a big fishing company. Why? Why shouldn't there be? So the ocean is a huge economic frontier on its own. There are oceanographers there, marine biologists there. There's lots of skills that you need also in the ocean. The seafarers. So there's lots of employment that can come out of the ocean. So an OR has both. It has agriculture, it has the ocean, it has the people. Now we need to get people to come and invest here. Local and international investors must come, and we must create livable spaces, spaces that are nice to live in, to work in, to play in, to study in, and places, spaces that are safe for women and children. Because if spaces are safe for women and children, they'll be safe for everybody. So as we think about these new spaces, this new development, we must have those things in mind. Of course, transport, telecommunication, culture, our heritage, tourism, the creative industries, all those things exist here. That's why she said OR is rich. It has all those things. We just need to know and have the determination to implement and to work and to create wealth for our people. I won't say much about the two song centers and the two Tuzela centers because my sister has mentioned them, but they are very important because we do need citizens to know where to get their services. We hope the two Tuzela centers will not be a feature forever because we hope that at some point women won't need them. But whilst they need them, we must make sure they are there and they are friendly and they are usable to the women. So let's all fold our sleeves, shoulder on the wheel, and make sure that we create these livable spaces, workable, smart, safe spaces for women. And make sure that communities are sustainable, are resilient, are climate smart, but are also prosperous. Let's make sure that there are small businesses who grow to be big businesses. And also women. Now, my sister, before I sit down, there's something that always bothers me, particularly in the international world, but also here. when you talk about women and business and all that, people start saying, oh, microfinances, micro this, micro this. What's micro about us? What's micro about us? We don't want to end at micro. We're not micro at all. So we want to be in business, not micro business. Maybe we can start a small business, not micro. Small business, co-ops, and we grow to be big business. So this thing of micro that, we must, my sister must tell them, no, not micro. But having said that, in the year of Maxeke, we do not fail our people. As Mam Winnie said, it must scare us to fail our people, to let down our people. As OR said, we must have real freedom, because real freedom means the wealth must also be shared by the majority. I thank you. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much. I am not going to repeat what has been said here. Kodwa kukhulu okutshiwayo kuthi. Ingakumbi sikhunjuzwa into kokuba singabaphoxi abantu. We must fear of letting our people down. Honorable Minister, ndiyafuna ukutsho into kokuba the program yeThuthuzela Centers will be monitored by the multi-party caucus standing committee. The chairperson is part of this meeting. The members are part of this meeting. Indeed, within our district, Engquza local municipality, it has been our focus of the gender-based violence. So we are taking it very, very serious. Also, the honorable mayors from the local municipalities, together with the district executive mayor, they are here listening. We are looking forward to receive international and local business to invest within our district. That's what we are looking forward to. And our local business is also looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Sabulela kakhulu Mphathisi. Once more, a round of applause for the Minister. Thank you. At this point, I am directed that as we are going to have MOU signing ceremony, that's where we are right now. The UN Resident Coordinator and COCTA Director General to sign at the table on the left, in that table. Right now, media is invited, members of the media are invited to be part of that particular program. At this point, we are inviting the UN Resident Coordinator and COCTA Director General, as I'm directed here, to that table so as to sign, and all members of the media are invited there. Ngelixesha besondela ndicele uHonorable Ngqondwana angabikho kude oza kusivalela le session emveni koba sekusayiniwe. Akukho nomuntu okwazi ucula nabethuna kumnandi kanjena. How can we be quiet when we are happy? Thank you very much. Can we get back to our seats? Thank you very much. Can we get seated, please? Thank you very much. We have signed. Subophile lo mtshato. We have signed this important partnership, which is not only for us, but for the people of OR Tambo. Abasinike uxanduva. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, thank you very much, and Resident Coordinator. Thank you very much. At this point, I will call Honorable Mondwana to close this first session. There will be another session in the afternoon. Over to you, Honorable Mondwana. Fago.
Thanks so much, Program Director, Councillor Ngongwa, Minister of Culture, Dr. Dlamini Zuma, Umama Begele Thomas, the President Coordinator, the UN, MEC for Culture, Tata Ungata, Executive Mayor of the District of OR Tambo, the Councillors of Kanyile, Executive Mayors, and Mayors from local municipalities, Speakers and Chief Whips, Councillors, the administrative leadership from all government institutions that are here today, the leadership of the clergy, the leadership of the institution of traditional leadership, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of greeting you this morning. I've been given a responsibility to make a very brief closing remarks as the mayor of Nyandeni local municipality, where we are gathered this morning. Firstly, thanks so much to the leadership of government as led by the Minister of Culture for considering it appropriate to host this signing event at our soil today. She's made a very profound input by explaining that these government interventions must happen where people reside, at places other than Pretoria, Cape Town, and all other big cities. And further that it must be the culture of our government to conduct our business at the sites where the impact is expected to be. We feel very honored because to us it is an expression of commitment and an expression of a proper and profound understanding of the nature of problems that our people are confronted with in this OR Tambo area. It is a matter of fact that all sources of statistics do confirm that we remain amongst the poorest the most needy and vulnerable. All social scourges, including gender-based violence, unemployment, illiteracy, poverty, and even hunger, are found in this district. It is also a matter of fact that even in the space of governments, we are not reputed amongst the best in terms of how we conduct government business, including weaknesses of political leadership and instances where we, those that are charged with the responsibility of leading the people, are found wanting at certain scales and indexes. We know without a slightest fiber of doubt that this initiative will make a mark in altering the living conditions of our people for the better. We know that this gathering of different minds into this venture, the leadership of the UN, COGTA at national and provincial levels, will definitely yield a positive outcome that will positively affect the issues that have been able to put forward. Ours, as the political leadership in the space, is to commit to make all resources available to ensure the success of this initiative. Resources in terms of the political will in the first place. Resources in terms of institutional arrangements in ensuring that all our municipalities gather in one place to give a proper interpretation of the dream of the people of Archambo, including telling how that dream can go about being fulfilled. It will require a kind of political leadership that's able to set aside all sorts of differences, political and otherwise, and ensure that all our energies are converged into one program and one project of ensuring that this becomes a success. Thank you so much for making this day such a success. I am also mandated by the program director to emphasize that we're only closing this session. There's still a lot of work that will have to be done beyond this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ngondwana. Niyabulela kakhulu. At this point, according to our program, we will have a media briefing. Our political principals will be handling the media briefing. As already indicated, we have another session which will start at 13 hours. The session will be also held here the other arrangement is that for those who are responsible for communication in these institutions will be handling other issues that relate to the media briefing further, because when the signing ceremony was taking place, the media was in presence. So from here, we will be having a lunch for the rest of the attendees, and also at 1 o'clock we will converge here for the second session. Siyanicela bantu bakuthi nibe khona, ibalekile la session. because that session will be trying to make it practical for us as institutions that are involved as to how are we going to be